Hello, monster kids. We're back for a new year of Dada Hyena's Creature Show, and interestingly enough, the Dada part of that name is going to be pretty important today because we are drawing the Dada monster from Ultraman, both the monster and the anti-art movement that it was based off of. So I first learned about Dada back in college, and oddly enough, from Ultraman, because I was a fan of Ultraman in those days, and the original Ultraman series is still my favorite. I love all the monsters from the show, and a lot of the monsters are what you would call pretty conventional ones. There's giant dinosaurs, the alien invaders, big bugs, and things like that. And then I get to this weird episode with this really weird creature. Whatever the hell it was not like anything else from the series. It's this weird kind of alien, but it kind of looks like an African tribal mask or maybe a doll, and it's somewhat masculine, somewhat feminine. You don't really know if there's one of them or three of them because its faces change for no real reason. And it just sat with me for a while because at first I'm like, what the hell is this thing? This is weird. This is stupid. Why is this one of the monsters? But of course, the fact that it sat with me meant something was interesting in my brain more than, the fire-breathing stegosauruses or the lobsters from outer space or whatnot. And around that time in college, I was taking art history courses, and that's when they started talking about a anti-art literary form from the 1920s called Dada. And Dada really came at a point in my life when I needed it the most because I was this greasy punk in my early 20s who was struggling to learn how to draw better even though it really wasn't clicking. I was really trying my best to fit in, which obviously was not working out. Hearing about this whole rebellious movement where people were just saying, you know what, we don't care if you understand us, we don't care what you hold sacred, we are going to be weird for the sake of being weird and be shocking for the sake of being shocking, and whatever you make of that, we don't care. And it was wonderful. The Dada movement and a lot of the artists that were involved with it, Marcel Duchamp, Man Ray, my very favorite was Max Ernst. He did a collage novel called Un seme de bon. I don't speak French, so I can't pronounce that right, but it means a week of kindness. This amazing collage novel that just took bits and pieces out of random sources and put them together in a weird way that, I just loved it to death. And Dada became, a big part of my artistic aesthetic and my mindset at the time. I created this character called Dada Man, who was part of my first webcomic, which didn't have a title at the time, and then I just took his name and the other character from the comic called Hyenasaur and put it together and called it Dada Hyena. And, the comic didn't really last all that long. Oddly enough, Dada itself didn't last that long either, because, shock and rebellion is great, but eventually it gives way to other things, and Dada, the movement turned into surrealism, which was also wonderful and also one of my favorite forms of art. And the Dada Hyena comic gave way to the other comics I ended up doing, such as Scapula. But the Dada character stuck around, Dada Man. He crossed over into Scapula, and the Dada Hyena name is something that I've never really wanted to get rid of. I don't know how much actual Dada is in Dada Hyena's Creature Show or whatnot, but it's there because it was a motivating factor for me, and it's my way of telling myself not to ever take this too seriously. It's great to study your art, and it's great to be a professional, but at the same time, don't ever lose that first spark of rebellion and excitement and not adhering too closely to the rules, if at all. To this I say,
Rataplan, and the pants of the vicar are closing.
Go to hell.